Hi. Hey guys, how you doing? Do Carpenter and the always beautiful Mrs. Honeydew Carpenter. We are you live from our Aircrete laboratory. Right now, we're in the middle of a major construction project. We're going to lay a slab that's about 30 feet by 38 feet, and then right now we're in what we call the lean-to, which is the open end of the barn, and we're going to kind of make an attachment over to our shipping container. We're going to put in some big overhead doors into the shipping container that'll attach it from this area, and it's all going to be poured in concrete, so we'll have a big flat space, a place to put our equipment, and a place to do our aircrete projects. So we are over the moon, super excited. You can see behind us we have a big loader, a little bobcat, and we're going to use that to prep the ground and then get some concrete poured in here after the weekend. On Monday or Tuesday, the concrete's coming in. So we are super excited. Once that concrete slab is down, boy, get ready for some really cool DIY aircrete projects where we'll have a place where we can lay out our forms and we can build our forms and have all our saws and stuff and our equipment right where we need it to be to do it. We've just kind of been struggling up till now, just simply because we're working on basically horse manure.
Did you guys know that you can rent those little bobcats? I had no clue, and Darwin's like, yeah, let's go rent one. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's going to save us a ton of time. Right outside the front door of the shipping container, we have 24 tons of road base. I'm going to dig this down about 6 to 8 inches and then bring in the road base, compact it down, put the reinforcement down, and then pour this. And it's just gonna open up our shop right into our shipping container because we're gonna have a big 8-foot wide overhead door that'll go up. Actually, what I'm thinking about, guys, is doing a rail slider door. So when you unlatch it, it'll pop out a little bit, and then you can just slide it over. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Hey, did you grab our logo?
Oh, I didn't.
I will go get it.
Oh, hey guys, we're gonna do a special video on a new logo that was put together for us by a really special friend of ours, and there's a really cool story behind it, and Mrs. Honeydew's gonna go get it. Oh, there it is. They submitted it to us and put it together, and we just thought it was absolutely cool. We're gonna make some t-shirts and stuff and put this logo on. So
yeah, and a special thank you to Steve's son Michael. We'll put the other information and tags and everything in when we do a special video thanking them.
Right.
But
Michael is a graphic artist, and he's out of Salt Lake City, and I thought he did a really great job.
you guys ready to see it? We're super excited. We love it.
Right?
And I know that on a live it'll be backwards to you guys. But isn't that awesome, you guys?
Look at the lipstick on my cheek.
We are super excited to have a logo for our business now, and it's been an amazing journey.
Right, it sure has.
All right, let's see. Jeff Krupke says, morning, guys. Morning, Jeff. How's it going down there or up there? Asada says, I want to make a fire pit. How thick should I make the refracting wall?
Oh, I'm working on one because we're going to put a fire pit on the opposite side of the pavilion. We'll have a place to just kind of lounge out around a fire. And I haven't put a lot of thought into it yet, but I think just a 2 or 3 inch wall would be plenty for it. And I don't know what I'm going to do for the full construction of it with like air vents and stuff. I might put a blower vent in underneath it. We'll see what I come up with. It's going to be pretty cool.
Right. William Craig says good morning. Thumbs up. Well, good morning back, William Craig.
Good morning, William.
And you guys give us a thumbs up if you like it. And Mike says hello. Well, hello, Mike. Dan says good morning. Mulber says morning. Super great progress. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, there have been a lot of people that have been instrumental in allowing us to put together this shop. And I know part of the deal on the Kickstarter was we're going to put the names on plaques on the wall of those people. And there's just a couple of them that have just been super instrumental, like Alan Travis with Beaver Creek Homesteads, and William Craig. And I'm almost half tempted when we pour this slab out here that'll be kind of the entryway into the container and the Aircrete laboratory, just to stamp their names right in the concrete. So, William, Ellen, don't be surprised when you come here if you see your name stamped in the concrete.
Dave says cute. Terry Oak says good morning from Alaska. Good morning,
awesome.
Terry.
Alaska, one of my favorite places.
Right.
I absolutely love it there.
How's the weather there this morning in Alaska?
We actually sent a foam mate out to North Pole, Alaska, and my boys were just so excited. They wanted to make sure they helped me build that one, and they did. I let them do the ratchet and screw in all the fittings and stuff after I threaded it, you know, because it was going to Santa Claus's house. I actually pulled up on the internet. There's a tourist destination in North Pole, Alaska, and it has a big pole that's candy striped right in front of like this beautiful Santa Claus house, and my boys were so excited. So I absolutely love it up there. I've been there many times.
Right. All right. Let's see. Jeff Krupke says nice logo. Thank you. Williams Craig says that he loves the logo.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Julie Henderson says good morning. Albert says it was not backwards. It wasn't?
No, it was backwards when we were looking at it.
Oh, well, good. That's awesome.
They changed that.
Oh, well, that's really good to know. Thank you. Heinz says, hey, guys, like your content. Well, thank you so much. Alan says, nice logo. Thank you. Jeff Krupke says, North Pole is a cool place. Yes, it is.
No pun intended. Yeah, it gets pretty cold there during the winter. It's way in the interior of Alaska. I think there's only about 60 or 80 miles of highway left before you just hit the dirt road. I used to drive up there every year and go dip net fishing on the Chitna River. So it was a lot of fun. That's dangerous stuff, by the way. We would walk out in waders, and every year a number of people get killed doing that. But we would put a harness on, and I would put a D-ring or a carabiner on and just kind of rappel my way out into the river so that I was held on, and then I would lock it.
That sounds awesome, babe. Okay, we read that one. Oliver says, hello from Germany. Well, hello back. Germany, that's pretty cool.
You know what? We've gotten a lot of tips from people in Germany because they do a lot of building with cellular and lightweight concretes over there. And one of the messages gave us some tips on some different ingredients we could put in. And they were engineers over there, and they were super surprised that I was able to really get super close to mimicking some of their cellular foam concrete mix designs. And they said, you're just missing a few key things. And so we're going to be, after we get this slab next week in and done, we're going to be experimenting with some of those, and we're going to be doing some compression tests. I'm going to show you guys how to build a gravimetrics tester. I have an aircrete pump so that we can pump it up into overhead walls that's coming. I am super excited. It's just been a lot more work than I had thought getting this whole shop set up, but it's going to be worth it.
Oh. David says, check out the spider ties for your walls rather than steel studs. Spider ties.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, definitely. Terry Oak says, a little cool. Had snow yesterday morning in Alaska.
Awesome.
That's cool. Alan says, my cat is helping me type. I suppose you noticed. Alan, we were wondering what that was, so thanks for clarifying. We have cats. We understand.
Right.
Heinz says, love the air crew videos. Germany, they have a ton of cool stuff.
Right.
Yes. And thank you very much. Kulo says, can you do a demonstration on making a brick?
You know what, guys? That's going to be one of my first DIY do-it-yourself demonstration videos. Is I'm going to show people how to build a simple form, one that anybody can do. And I'm just going to do a simple aircrete mix design and then pour them. And then I'm going to get into some more intricate molds where we'll be doing the retaining wall bricks. And I'm also going to do another project right away, because I'm going to build a wall on the prevailing side between the shipping container and the barn here in the lean-to. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to make a big cooling wall out of it. It's going to have a solar pump that's going to pump out of a trough and drizzle water down the wall. The wall is going to be perforated and have angled holes going through it that will allow the wind to kind of be funneled in and through the wall. And it's just going to create a nice, on those 90, 100-degree days out here, it's going to create a nice cool breeze coming through that wall. And so there's going to be several projects right away that are going to be awesome. And they're going to be demonstrating just that, how to build these bricks.
Ian says, hello from Cape Town, South Africa. Well, hello. Wow. South Africa. That's pretty cool. Heinz says, concrete with foam, I meant. Oh, okay. And cool couple, you two. Heinz, That's awesome. Thank you. And Jeff Krupke says, is the slab going to be using aircrete? No.
No. Because, guys, aircrete has only a specific gravimetrics testing on it. I'm going to be driving. We picked up a forklift and a small tractor and stuff, and I need to be able to move. And I actually salvaged from a junkyard a saw, a bandsaw. It weighs about 3,000 pounds. I mean, it is a big bandsaw.
It's huge.
And so we're going to be driving on this with equipment that is 7,000, 8,000 pounds. That's not what aircrete is designed for, guys. Back patios, whatnot. People have asked me about driveways. I've always been very consistent and said, yeah, you can do it for a driveway, but you're going to have to put a hardened layer of concrete on top of it as a surface. So, and in fact, that's how up to our dome home that we're eventually going to build, that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put a layer of aircrete and then run for an insulation layer, and it'll be a good dense one, but it'll still have some good R value. And then I'm going to string PEX back and forth and run warm water through it to heat the concrete. So
Steve says, hello from Ontario. Well, hello.
hey, how you doing, Steve?
Tubular Guy 9 says, hey, from Lower Alabama. Well, hey,
Hey.
Tubular. That's awesome. Heinz says, thumbs up. Bob Davis says, good morning from George. Looking forward to the first part of the rewards. Yes, Bob, we're very looking forward to that. And
Yeah. It's and they are coming and everything is set up so that we just got to get a place to work so we can start fulfilling those rewards. And part of it is the instruction book and manual on building the aircrete stove. As I go through myself and build the first one, that's going to be our first project. Because we're going to start testing it after this next week. So I'm hoping to start building that this next week. I'll build the very first stove that'll be the exact stove that was on the Kickstarter. And as I go through that process, I'm sure when I get into like step 12, I'll go, man, back at step 2 or 3, I wish I would have done this. And that's going to allow me to very accurately write that instruction book and manual and allow people to copy the project and go through it without all the headaches. And that's what I'm after there.
right. And DJB says, hi there from Alberta. LOL. Well, hello. And Oliver says, how is your rocket mass heater with aircrete working?
Oh, well, the original one that I built works great.
It does.
It absolutely works fantastically. I designed one on a Kickstarter project that I haven't built yet, but it's getting built next week. And so Julie with Dirt Patch Heaven is going to be here tomorrow, and we are going to go through the process over a few day period and build the first one and install it in her cabin. I mean, we still have, it snowed just a couple days ago, so it's really cold here in the Rocky Mountains still. And we're going to go through about a 2 or 3 week process of testing that stove. But I did all the math on it. We've kind of, in the first one that I built for Julie, got it figured out. And so I think it's going to perform fantastically. But it's going to be a process, and we're going to go through building the alumina cement ceramic fiber core burn chamber for it, and the J-tube configure. We're going to do those in different J-tube configurations and make those plans available to people as well. So
I look forward to seeing your experiments. Aircrete Harry. Aircrete Harry, you're awesome. Thank you for saying that.
you know what, guys? Aircrete Harry is another guy that inspired me to even
Right.
get started. And he has some really awesome videos up on different aircrete experiments. And I would encourage you to go and watch him, because he is really passionate about this stuff as well.
He is.
So,
Kulo says, I would appreciate that. Awesome. Heinz says, let's get together. Virtual company. Patent pending. That's awesome, Heinz. Does the foam mate include any ingredients to make the foam?
we make that public knowledge. We don't even sell the recipe for it. All it is a 32-to-1 ratio with Schwab's shampoo and water. So 32 parts water, 1 part Schwab shampoo. The reason I recommend Schwab shampoo is I did a lot of research on different ones. One of my most, I guess, prominent pictures of me online is me holding up a thing of foam in my hand after Mrs. Honeydew shoved it in my face. But that was during the making of that video where I tested different foaming agents, but I did a lot of research on different adjuvants and different soaps and detergents, and depending on what they were used for, like the ones that are used for washing machines have a low sudsing element in there, and they're not really good for making foam. But the main ingredient in Schwab shampoo is the main ingredient in all the high quality commercial foaming agents. And they have some other harsh chemicals in them that the shampoo doesn't have. And I like recommending the shampoo because it's meant to be on the body and whatnot, and so it's non-toxic.
Right. And so, but to clarify that, so no, we don't ship any of the ingredients with the foamate. It's just the foamate, and the water you can pretty much get anywhere, and then the Suave shampoo you can get almost anywhere too.
Right.
And Mike says, what about Mrs. Honeydew's ice cream machine?
It's a good thing we went keto. We don't really do ice cream anymore. We walked by one in Sam's Club, last week, and I said, look, babe, an ice cream machine.
I can make it with the heavy whipping cream. If I had an ice cream maker.
Shut up, man. Shut up. You're getting me in trouble here. Yeah, I need to get her a new ice cream maker.
Oh, man, I love you. One thing I'm actually really excited about, this shop being out and away from our house on a random piece of property, is that my kitchen appliances are going to be left alone, I think, for the most part now. He's not going to go looking for something that he can use for this shape or form that he needs anymore. I think my stuff might be actually kind of safe.
I still use a lot of I got a scale that weighs in grams, and it's got a dial about that big, a big red arm on it, and I'm real excited to show that in videos because it'll allow people to see the exact grams and whatnot on this big dial. But I have been going to like Goodwill and the different thrift stores and getting old stainless steel bowls that I can set on that to measure stuff in. And so I can stay away from Mrs. Honeydew's stuff.
Right.
And I did replace her turkey basting pan that I used.
Yes.
So I'm not all bad.
All right. DJB Charles says, can I get you to come out to Edmonton and help me out? LOL, you're the best, bro.
Eventually,
we do hope to be able to do that.
After our channel grows to a certain point, we'd want to be able to travel to different parts of the country and, up to Canada as well. I know we were talking with a gal up there. There's a lot of interest up in Canada in these different tiny home communities and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think Aircrete and its physical properties and stuff fit well into that. And I want to be able to go and do some workshops in different parts of the country. It would be really nice eventually if we have the funds and the availability to just drop some shipping containers in different parts of the country where we would do workshops throughout the year and just equip them with all, foamates and an air compressor and just the basic tools that we need to do some workshops like that. So
Right.
Eventually, we're going to be doing that.
All right, so Malbur says industrial size AC unit wall. Exactly.
Exactly.
He's getting excited to get that up.
Yeah, it's going to be about a 10-foot high wall, and it's going to have a sheet metal trough that it sits in. So I'm going to have to put some kind of a hardened foundation under that trough. It's going to have a solar panel up on top of the shipping container that runs a solar-powered pump that will pump water up over the top and distribute it out and let it drizzle down the wall. And here we have about a 5-mile-an-hour prevailing wind, a nice breeze all the time. And so it's just perfect for this area.
Yeah, yep, air conditioning. And Steve says, hopefully you can get the mix ratio chart for different applications such as structure and insulation, as well as other various applications, right?
Right. I am going to work on that as well, because we're going to be doing some experiments where we tack a galvanized wire mesh up to the shipping container wall. The shipping container wall is kind of a corrugated wall, obviously. And then we want to have a slip form where we'll put down a form that's a foot or 18 inches deep, fill it with aircrete, let it set up overnight, move the form up, pour in another layer, and obviously the wire mesh or the chicken wire or whatever we use will hold it to the wall. And we want it to be an insulative surface with some good R value, but we want to be able to put some waterproofing on the outside as well. And so that's going to be kind of some fun experiments there.
Right. All right, so, okay, I read that one. Jeff says, oh, for sure, too much weight with equipment on the slab. Yes, right?
Yeah.
Little bit to Heaven Homestead says, good morning. Well, good morning, Pat. Awesome. Thank you. Afina says, hi, I am Ontario from...
I am Antonio.
Antonio from Colombia.
From
I read that
Colombia.
wrong. Sorry about that.
Well, hello, Antonio.
From Colombia. Hello. Patrick, caught you live. Love the content. Awesome, Patrick. Thank you.
We are actually getting ready to send out, we had 3 orders of foam mates from the Philippines. And so I know there's a lot of interest in that area with their different weather patterns. And so we're excited to see what other people come up with over there and their results. One thing I want to do, we've just barely figured out our forum to where I can go in and control the content and pull in different backgrounds and whatnot for our forums and our idea exchanges. And so I don't have much in there right now, but that's going to be coming. And so I'm excited to see what other people come up with and the results that they're getting. Just from my perspective, looking at other people that have tried to pour concrete blocks and whatnot using different methods, a lot of times it's been really inconsistent. I don't know if you've seen some of my videos where I'm pouring the aircrete, but it's really consistent and it's really smooth. And I want to see if other people can duplicate that. And so it's going to be fun getting some other content like that.
It will be. And Dan says, will you make a cheat sheet for cement/water/foam ratios for small batches, medium batches, and large batches, etc.? Maybe on Etsy? That's a great idea.
You know what? I should do a chart like that.
Maybe.
I take for granted, because I do math in my head and I do these ratios in my head. And I think that there is a huge demand for exactly what you said. Okay, if you want to make a 5-gallon bucket of it,
Right.
you know, this is
And
the mix.
maybe we could put it on our website or Etsy, one of the two.
Yeah. I
think the
will
website
work
might be
on that,
better.
because that's real quick and real easy for me, because all it is ratios and volume, and that stuff is easy for me. I typically do it in my head.
But I need cheat sheets.
We should write it down. Yeah.
The Clink says, oh wow, actually caught you guys live. Hiya. Well, the Clink, we usually try and go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Right.
So,
We are out here at our aircrete laboratory. We're actually in the end of the barn. We're going to pour a 35 by 38 foot slab in here. It's going to give us a big working area, a place to put our saws and our tools and some of the bigger equipment.
Oliver says, thumbs up. Hey, you guys, give us a thumbs up so that we can Get our likes. Little Bits of Heaven Homestead says, the rocket mass heater at Julie's is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Little Bits of Heaven Homestead, thank you so much.
She has done a lot of collaborative work with Dirt Patch Heaven, and she had a chance to spend the night on the Air Creek bench, and she just said it was just warm and cozy and beautiful. I actually, when I stayed out there and ran the stove and did a demo on it, I stayed in the loft up above because the bench just got too hot for me. But
he's a heater, though. That guy, he's a heater. So, everyone, I want you guys to check out Little Bits of Heaven Homestead. She makes her own homemade soap from like goat milk and stuff. It is awesome, and it just looks so yummy and beautiful. You guys check it out.
Even though it's soap.
Yeah, it's
She
soap.
says it's yummy, but don't eat it.
Athena says, my English is not good. Can you show the formulation of the best aircrete?
Well, it depends on what you're using it for, what it's best for. We do have the formulations on our Etsy store that people can purchase. We try and do it as economically as we can. We have got to keep our head above water financially, and that has, over the winter, that was pretty tough.
Yes, so it was. So check out the Etsy store, and honestly, it really depends on what you're using it for the best aircrete mix.
But for a building one, I would go with the wall panel mix design.
Steve from Ontario says, I used to work in plastic injection mold building. I think I could help you with creating closed forms and inject the aircrete.
You know, I've thought
That
a lot
sounds
about that.
Awesome.
I invented something a few years ago that I wanted to have plastic injection molding, and unfortunately the molds they were going to cost about $25,000 to machine out and produce so that we could mass produce them. We just didn't have the funds, so it didn't go anywhere. But if you were talking about aircrete projects, you could probably build the molds, you know, and just that's kind of a neat idea, but they got to be able to come apart pretty easy.
So, Steve, could you email us a little bit more what you're thinking and your thoughts at honeydewcarpenter1@gmail.com?
I'm actually really interested in that because of this. I also have some other projects that I want to use small donuts of aircrete for. That I think I'm going to launch probably this fall. I'm not going to tell them what it is because it's too cool.
Right. Tubular Guy 9 says, how's the old town motor coming along?
Oh, the tow motor.
Tow motor. Sorry. I read that wrong.
Should I go get on it and drive it in here?
The forklift?
Yeah, my tow motor. It's awesome, guys.
It is awesome. We
have the rest of the video of me rebuilding it. We did a kind of preliminary one, and it shows really all the things that I did to it. I mounted a different air cleaner and a seat, and we've got to get it painted yet still. But I couldn't believe how well this thing ran. That was a good find.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Dave Severin says, hey, Aircrete Harry, love your stuff too. Right, David?
Awesome.
And Aircrete says, thanks. And Mike Gunnell's Ministry says, just had to mention it. Thought that was funny. Aw. That he was talking about the ice cream maker.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, and it was funny. And I love that you guys keep reminding him. That way it's not just always me. Jeff Krupke says, any projects coming up, Harry? Right. Aimless Adventure says, howdy, howdy. And glad I got the notification. Awesome. Yeah, you guys hit the bell in the bottom for notifications so you guys know when we get a new video or a live coming. Aimless Adventure also says, been fishing all morning, no bite, but I did see a good-sized cottonmouth.
Oh,
Oh, you be
Well.
careful with those cottonmouths, but I do hope you get a bite from a fish. And good luck, Amos.
my grandma was deathly afraid of snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Bits of Homestead says, you can drop a shipping container for classes here.
Oh,
Aw, Little Bits of Heaven, you're awesome.
and I think they're in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you for saying that. Steve says, I would love to become an outsource affiliate for you guys here in Southwest Ontario.
Oh, awesome. We are working on putting together an affiliate program on our website that will allow other people who want to maybe monetize their efforts and participate a little bit, and maybe even like up there in Canada, I could ship you the raw materials, or we could determine what's available there, and then I could ship the hard to get parts or whatever, and then have different people in different parts of the country be able to put these things together and ship them out and make some money that way. Because it's eventually I'm not going to be able to keep up with the demand for the foam mates.
Right.
So right now it's not too bad. And if you guys saw the video where I put together that workstation and I have all the parts just right there, it's really quick. I can make a foam mate, in less than an hour.
Right. So, Steve, keep in touch and keep an eye, because we do hope to do that in the near future. So, keep hoping. And Jeff Krupke says, Insiders Club still in the works. Yes, Darwin they just got a little glitch figured out that kept sending him back to the sign in and everything, but I think we got that fixed. And
Yeah, we had to write in a whole new program to make the forum work on a private website, and it
put our website developers
and it cost
to test.
And it actually, there was a lot of it actually cost quite a bit of money to do it, and so I just barely, right in the middle of this big construction project, we just barely got it figured out, and I haven't had time to go in and pull all the content on, and I really don't want to release all the passwords until I get the content pulled on. But I'm thinking that we'll just put subject matter forums up, and then we'll just get a conversation going. I'll write the first article, and then we'll go back and forth. And I think it's just going to snowball and grow from there. So
Right. All right. So Dave says, look into FRP mesh and rebar, much stronger and cheaper.
Oh, FRP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will do, David. Thank you.
Yeah.
And David Bennett says, wow, I took 10 minutes to get the message window to open. Thank you a lot, you too. Sorry, David, about that. I don't know what was going on.
I'm going to write down FRP mesh.
And hello.
Mesh and rebar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan hit the nail on the head. Mixed ratio cheat sheets.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we should put it up on the website. What do you think?
Yeah. So there's a demand for it. Well, that'll be something that we'll put up on our website.
Yeah. Tubular Guy 9 says thumbs up. So you guys give us some thumbs ups. The Clink says, is more about when my workflow abates. I'm usually neck deep in things when you're on, right?
Oh.
Yeah, that happens. We understand.
I want to use aircrete on a flat roof in Egypt. It gets very hot in the summer. Do you think it's possible? Not only do I think it's possible, we've actually done it. I had a chance to work. It was a there's a high school in Mix on top. And the screws that we used to screw into it to fasten the single ply roofing system on they kind of looked like a sheetrock insert. You know, they were a big hard plastic screw that looked like kind of an auger, and they augered into it. And those things are commercially available. And so basically, yeah, I think it's absolutely possible.
Would they need to put any type of sealant on top so it does not
Well, and that's
absorb
the
water?
thing. If you did a roll-on roofing system, EPDM system, I don't think you'd have to put any fasteners in it at all. And I think it would really end up being an awesome roofing system. The only caution that I would give you is this. When you pour the first layer, do a good aerated mix at least 2 or 3 times the volume of your slurry with foam. And then on the top, I would do an aerated one, but I'd do like a 1-to-1 ratio and make it just kind of a little bit more dense on top. And that way you'd have a nice R value, and you would have a really kind of a denser layer on top that would just, and then you could roll without it soaking in and taking up too much of your material, roll like a EPDM waterproofing sealant on it. And I think it would work great.
Awesome. I can email you regarding making molds for Aircrete. Please repeat your email again. I will be ready to write it down. All right, it is honeydew, HONEYDO, Carpenter 1, the number 1 at gmail.com.
Yeah. Carpenter. Carpenter.
Right. Well, I just basically said the DO because we've had people send it to DEW.
Right, they have. It's like Mountain Dew is stuck in their head.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that it was DO.
Oh, and William Craig, we mounted, I don't know if you can see it up on the wall, right above the corner of the Bobcat. That's the time-lapse camera. So this whole thing getting poured and getting prepped and scraped out is going to all be on a time-lapse. So it's going to be pretty cool.
We're excited.
Thanks, William. William Craig gave us that for Christmas, this time-lapse camera, and we're super excited to use it.
And David says, affiliate? Yeah, buddy, right here in central upstate New York. So we have a couple people that are interested in being affiliates. So
upstate and central New York, it's just beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's beautiful country.
That is awesome. Mike Gunnels Ministry says, I'd be part of that here in West Virginia. See, we have a lot of people that are willing to be affiliates and help us out. So awesome.
So I can't wait to get that affiliate program going.
Right? So share our videos on YouTube, you guys, and get us out there so that we can start doing the affiliate sooner. David Severance says, I am playing around with hempcrete also. I wouldn't have gotten involved with any of this construction stuff if it had not been for you two. Oh, that's so sweet. And isn't it awesome getting into all this and learning about it, David?
And the thing about you know, we did an organic block mix, and we used just straw, you know, which is, and the thing about hemp is it has a really strong fiber in it. And like hemp rope is some of the strongest you can get anywhere. So I think hempcrete, you know, in an aircrete formula would be super strong. I want to try that as an experiment, some hemp fibers.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but
and we have PVA fibers, and we have a lot that we want to try and experiment with.
And wolastanite fibers that we got from Steve. And so I'm excited to try different things and put them on the gravimetrics tester and test their compression. That's one thing a lot of people have wanted. I did a flexural test where I loaded the center of one of my wall panels with 500 pounds of concrete spanned across, well, I think there were 7.5 foot long panels, 2 cinder blocks. I didn't want to destroy the panel. If it held it, it held it. If it did destroy it, I was going to rebuild it. but there have been a lot of people who want me to do these tests and take them to complete failure. And so I'm excited to do some of those too.
Right.
Yeah.
David Bennett says thumbs up. E.T. Greywolf says, hey guys. Dia says, thank you very much, guys. You rock. One of the things about your aircrete panel is that we took and strapped it to the roof of our vehicle, and we drove out of state. Where did we go?
We went up to Montana.
We went clear to Montana and clear back from Montana, and then we didn't want to take it off at our house, so it stayed on the roof of our vehicle until we could take it back to the shop that we were building. And so it stayed on there another couple of days, start, a lot of it, and it didn't damage the panel at all.
No, and that was the exact panel that I used in the flex test.
So it...
And a lot of people said, well, you left the sheet metal studs on it. It actually flexed and bowed down about 3/4 of an inch, and those studs, I should have got a close-up of it. They actually bowed out like that. So I think it was mainly the rabbit wire on the bottom side of it that was actually doing the stuff, that allowed it to do that. When it flexes, obviously it compresses on the top and it stretches it on the bottom, and so I don't know. We'll have to do some to complete failure.
Steve got the email and he'll be in touch. Awesome. David says, thinking about hemp's SIPs, would aircrete work for the outside panels? I don't know.
I don't understand that question entirely.
Thinking about hemp's SIPs? SIPs? I don't know. Sorry, David, you stumped us.
If you're going to use an aerated or a lightweight concrete, it's always best to put a sealer on it. Hopefully that answers his question.
And William Craig says that he saw the camera. Smiley face, thumbs up. Awesome. And David Bennett says, I share your videos with my extensive messaging list. David, that's awesome. Thank you. Aircrete Harry says, how far are you from Fort Collins, Colorado?
I would say probably 7-8 hours. Not too far.
I would guess about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Without, looking at how many miles and everything. And
without looking at a map.
Yeah, that'd be our best guess, Aircrete. Steve says, hemp rope does not lose strength.
When wet.
When wet. I make duck call lanyards from hemp rope. That's cool.
Oh.
David Bennett says we're at 47 minutes. All right, David, thank you for keeping us up on that. Pamela Chadwell says, only thing I've tried was the papercrete. Oh.
And that's kind of the same theory. I mean, paper is a fibrous material, obviously wood fibers. But I don't know. I want to try hempcrete.
Dias says, I have a 3D printer at home, and I am very good with designs. I think something can be made instead of a metal chain inside the foam maker. Oh. Oh,
yeah.
I bet something could be made.
Yeah, it definitely could. It's just got to... we actually had some pictures sent to us from another guy who took a copper mesh and put it in there when he built his, and he did a really good job on the build. He actually used PEX hose and crimped them on and whatnot, and was telling me about his ideas, and I kind of relegated myself to, if I do something, I want it to be duplicatable and that somebody else can do, and not everybody has those crimping tools and whatnot available to them. And so I use hose clamps and just regular old hose barb nipples.
Terry Oak says, I have a lot in a container near Ellison Air Force Base near North Pole, Alaska. I plan on setting up shop that you can use to do classes in during the summer. I would love to be interested in becoming an affiliate.
Yeah.
Terry Oaks, you're awesome, and we're actually excited to meet you.
I
you guys come down.
spent a lot of time on Eielson Air Force Base. One of our main firing ranges was out there. And we would work with the Air Force and do what's called a JAT, a Joint Air Attack Team. And I ran a GLID, which is a laser system that guides bombs in. And so it was a lot of fun. Man, I spent a lot of time up on Eielson Air Force Base working with the Air Force. Those A-10s would just pop up over the mountains, drop their bomb once I locked onto it, and throw a couple anti-aircraft flares, and then be gone. And I would guide these bombs onto their target. I was a forward observer when I was in the military, and I spent all 4 years in Alaska, and it was a lot of fun.
David says structural insulated panel. Yes. Oh, SIP, structural insulated panel.
David Bennett says it's about 15 hours from Idaho
To Fort Collins.
Collins.
So we were way off.
Okay, we were way off.
So thanks for checking that out for us on a map and doing that for us, David. So 15 hours. So back up here where they're talking about the SIP, thinking about HEMP's SIPs, would aircrete work for outside panels? And SIPs are structural insulated panel.
Oh. Yeah, they would work. Well, I mean, I don't see why not.
Right. No,
I mean,
yeah.
my perlite ones. See, with hemp fibers in there, you'd want to wet the fibers first, and they would act as the moisture internal curing agent, what I use perlite for. And so you wouldn't need the perlite in them at that point. And plus you'd have the fibers, the structural strength of them. Most people don't know this, but when we were doing a lot of concrete testing, if we would always hold back 3 or 4 of the samples in case the break test or the compression tests on them were low. And then we would put those and cure them underwater for like 28 days and break them again at 56 days to see. And they always, you always gained a great percentage. But cement cures harder and stronger in a wet, moist environment. And so people don't think that I'm using it like an aggregate or a structural stuff when I put perlite in it, and I'm not. Perlite soaks up water, and so you have this little beads of water all through the cement, and then when it cures, it's a whole lot stiffer than a normal just aircrete mix. So I use it as an internal curing agent.
Right.
And hemp would do the same thing.
Edie Graywolf says would be interested in an affiliate here in Seattle area. We have a lot of interest in that. That's awesome. Kirk B says for structural integrity, have you thought of using crushed glass mixed into aircrete?
Glass is just basically melted sand. It's super heavy. I would probably just use sand in lieu of that unless I was going for some type of a motif and it was colored glass and I just wanted to put it on an outer layer or something. But I would probably shy away from glass. It has smooth surfaces and sand has rough surfaces. And for the suction, well, that's what you called where the cement slurry sucks to and sticks to something. You want a rough surface.
And do you know what the R value of foamcrete is?
It depends on how much you aerate it, but and the only way for me to do that is to do a heat test and see how long it takes for a certain amount of therms to come through it. And I actually read the ASTM on that to see how to do it, and I could probably build a machine to do it. and then I would be able to better answer. But the best answers I have gotten is looking at some research that was done in Germany, and then taking the specific gravity of their product and looking at the specific gravity of my product, and kind of determining that through that. But my best thing is about 3 R's per inch.
And you guys, it is